Welcome into Dillard's. How can I help you today?
Yo, I'm like looking to get my first cologne, bro, and I don't even know what I'm supposed to get. What do you recommend, Dillard's lady?
A really popular one for your age would probably be Dior Sauvage. It's really popular. Here, smell it.
Yeah, Dior Savage. I think I've heard of this one. Yeah, it smells good. I'll take it. How much is it?
Yeah, it'll only be 110 bucks too.
Sweet, I'll take it then. Hey, bro, listen. There's so many better options than Dior Sauvage. I know a way to get them cheaper. Do you even know like what you're looking for? You know what type of cologne you get? Because if not, like I know how to pick out your first cologne. And if you guys don't know how to pick out your first cologne, I'm going to be teaching you guys in today's video how to pick out your first cologne or how to pick out your first couple of fragrances.
I got no clue what he's talking about. You still want it?
I got no clue. I still want the cologne though.
She down there cooking some damn spam.
No, it's just mysterious.
I like barbecue sauce.
Hey everyone, it's Micah Fragrance back at it again with another video. That was my first ever skit I attempted to do, so please, if it's good, if you guys want to see more, let me know in the comments below. When I was editing it, I thought it was pretty cringy, but you know, I'm just always trying to try new things. But obviously, if you can tell by this skit, I'm going to be showing you guys how I would go about buying my first fragrance if I had no or barely any knowledge within fragrances, but just simply how to pick them out, what to do, what not to do, and a few things like that. So let's hop into the video, which is going to be what you should not do first. So a few big things right off the bat. Do not blind buy your first fragrance. I know a lot of people who have blind bought their first fragrance, really didn't end up liking it, kind of felt like it was just a waste of money, and really just didn't get into fragrances. One of my closest friends blind bought Nautica Voyage as his first cologne. He thought it was good and then just kind of got tired of it. He is into cologne now, but honestly, for a hot minute, I was thinking he just wasn't going to enjoy fragrances because his first introduction to fragrances wasn't necessarily a negative one, but wasn't the best one that you can have. So yeah, just really don't blind buy. The second biggest one to me would be testing out fragrances in stores. So that also, you know, obviously correlates with not blind buying, but make sure that you can actually smell the fragrance, test it on your skin, test it on the paper. Do not just smell it out of the bottle. Do not just smell it on the tester strip. You want to smell it on your skin because what not a lot of people understand is a fragrance is going to smell different once you sprayed it on your arm than what it actually normally smells like. The last thing you should never do is buy retail. Now, I know that you're going to be a little confused, especially if you don't have a lot of knowledge within the fragrance game. What do you mean don't buy retail? There are sites that I can buy off of. Are there stores that I can buy off of? There are both online and in-person stores that you can buy discounted fragrances on. By a discount site, that does not mean, or even a discount store, that does not mean that the fragrances are going to be fake. The fragrances, as long as they have a 100% authenticity on them, they're obviously going to be real. So FragranceNet, Joma Shop, Aura Fragrances, Beauty House, Fragrance.ca are all going to be phenomenal ones. FragranceNet, if I didn't say that, that's a very good one. I would highly recommend FragranceNet and Joma Shop. Unless you're looking for a specific item that's cheaper on like Aura fragrances, for example. But what they do is they buy colognes in bulk. I'm not sure if it's from stores that just can't sell them or if it's from the, you know, like from Versace themselves, from John Paul Gaultier themselves, and they sell them at a discounted price. The last thing that I'm going to say is actually buy a fragrance that you want. Do not buy John Paul Gaultier Le Mans Elixir. Do not buy Dior Sauvage just because you've seen a lot of positive stuff about them on TikTok, on social media, or even from your friends. Always make sure to actually test out a fragrance, find one that you like, and choose that fragrance for the one that you actually want to get. Those were all the big negatives that I can think of. There's obviously going to be more, but those are really the things that you just want to try and avoid to do. So we're going to go into the things that I highly recommend you do. So one of the biggest things that people will recommend is buying a blue fragrance as your first cologne. If you don't know what that is, it's pretty much a fresh fragrance with some added depth. And these are traditionally going to be year-round fragrances. Dior Sauvage, Versace Eros, the Acqua di Gio line, Bleu de Chanel, Prada Luna Rosa Ocean are all going to be blue fragrances. I would recommend go with the blue fragrance as well. Prada Luna Rosa Ocean is just going to be a nice, fresh, slightly powdery fragrance. Blue fragrances are just a great introduction. They're easily likable. They normally aren't too strong and they're normally not too weak. So I would just recommend start off with a nice blue fragrance unless you smell one that you just really like and it's not a blue cologne. Another huge thing I will recommend is buying versatile colognes. A lot of people, when they buy their first fragrance, they'll buy a summer cologne, they'll buy a winter cologne. You know, not even just summer or winter fragrances, but they'll buy one that's only good in the warm weather, and they'll buy one that's only good for the cool weather. I would recommend find one that you personally think can be worn all year round. Prada Black would be a great example of one that personally I think can be worn all year round. A lot of people say that it's just meant for the cooler weather. I've worn this in the heat and it's absolutely phenomenal. So just buy fragrances that you think that you are going to be able to wear year round. In turn, you're going to also get some really good fragrances that you can wear inside. So if you go to school, if you have an office job, if you just work, you know, you're going to be able to actually use these fragrances at those events. And that's pretty much the biggest thing. Versatility over just buying a cologne that's only good in 1 or 2 seasons is a big thing for me. I would much rather have my whole collection be versatile fragrances opposed to, you know, just spicy fragrances or just really fresh fragrances. So this one also correlates with testing a fragrance on your skin, but I would highly recommend you get a sample of whatever fragrance you want to buy. So for instance, Le Male Elixir, one of my friends, he really wanted to get a sample of it because he wanted to actually wear it, which is a big thing because it in turn lets you actually wear the fragrance, see how it works on your skin throughout a whole day. You know, you're not just throwing on one spray, you're going to have a full wearing. If you wear it and you're like, yeah, this is kind of nauseating to me, it's a little bit too strong, then thank God you didn't just blind buy that bottle, or thank God you didn't just buy a full bottle. So always make sure that you can have a sample of a fragrance. Now, again, if all you're going to do is just throw a couple sprays on in store, that works too. But I would recommend get a decant from a website, or even just go into your Dillard's or Ulta and ask some of the workers to get you a sample. Now, majority of the time when you're in person, they're not going to fill up that sample all the way. You'll probably get 1, maybe 2 wearings of it, but always try and get a sample if you can. So the last thing I'm going to talk about kind of correlates with a negative, and what I was saying is that do not buy fragrances just based off of hype. Buy fragrances that you enjoy, which is what I recommend. Always buy a fragrance that you enjoy because you're wearing fragrances for yourself, not for others, not just for compliments. Versace Blue Jeans is one of my favorite fragrances that gets really hated on, and it kind of sucks that it gets hated on. In the end, I'm not trying to say buy Blue Jeans as your first fragrance, but if there's a fragrance that you just enjoy, get it. If, you know, you're out testing fragrances with a bunch of friends, are like, oh, I don't like this, you know, everyone's saying that they don't like it, but you really enjoy it, get that fragrance, because in the end, you're going to be the one wearing it, and it doesn't really matter. So don't be afraid to actually put in your own taste. Don't be afraid to put your taste in choices of fragrances that you buy, not even just your first fragrance, but every single fragrance that you buy. Don't just buy something because it's hyped, and don't not get something because people around you don't like it. So those are really the big things that I would recommend you don't do and would recommend that you do. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comments. I can do a part 2 if I have to, but let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what your first fragrance was, how you came about picking it up. I guess really in turn how you got into your fragrance journey. Let me know in the comments below. Drop a sub and a like if you guys have not already. Have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video.